All right, so this is another Tony Too Tough video. This is a special one, though. All right, the reason why this one's special, this one's made for a viewer. It's for Tom. I just recently met Tom, and Tom asked, I've been corresponding with Tom by email. And by the way, you can too at Tony2ToughBushcraft@gmail.com. But anyways, I've been chit-chatting with him, and we were talking. He asked for, maybe just show me a video on share with me some of this stuff, like some of your favorite gear. So I just finished up the Greyman video. So listen, this is just going to be one of those videos that I'm just going to show a bunch of gear. This is just my favorite stuff. I'm just happy to be back, putting back everything in my Greyman bag, and this is going to live in the car. So since I already have the gear out, because I did the video, I'm going to be for it because it is some of my favorite gear. I'm going to put it back in as I put it in. So it's not that this is my favorite gear, but this actually lives at the very bottom, which is just my clothes in here. I'm not even going to bother with that, but the important parts that have to go in. This is one of my favorite pieces of gear. This is a emergency tarp, right? They call it a survival blanket, but it's orange and it's reflective on one side and it's orange on the other. I've modified this. I did a video on it. I modified it to Dave Canterbury's suggestions and reinforced the grommets with Gorilla Tape so that those are reinforced and they won't rip, right? And I did that. And I also added 3 X's on there in Gorilla Tape on the back, is because this is an emergency, right? So that part you're going to see, like, this is a rescue situation. I need help, right? So that's what's on here, right? I also have a ridgeline, some aluminum stakes in there because they weigh absolutely nothing. A quick deploy ridgeline. That's going to live right side here, all right? And it's an emergency only. So that's why I don't care if it lives inside here. I don't use it every day. But it's also kind of a cool piece of equipment. Now, what also is going to live at the bottom of this bag, and again, some of my favorite stuff here, let's get to it, which is going to be my my hammock. And let me share with you that, because this is some of my favorite gear, and I love this, and I've had this for a really, really long time. This is my slap straps. I love these. These are my slap straps, and they just slap around and they just go inside here, and they hold me up. And that's what I use between the trees to hold up my hammock. There's another one that lives inside here. And listen, shout out to my boss who gave me this really cool velvety bag that I wanted for my hammock system. And so I use it for my straps. It's perfect for that. And then here's my E&O hammock, and it fits. It's just this right here. I mean, heck, I could probably fit it all inside here. I don't even know why I got it inside there, but I do, just because, well, let me actually put it in here properly, and I think I can fit it all. I'm not going to do that while I'm on here with you. I won't even mess with that. That's a project for another day. But it is going to live inside here, right? So I can most definitely just drop it right inside here, and then, or maybe drop this in there first. That might be a good idea. Drop that, and then put this in there. There we go. That is going to live inside this bag. Because listen, I don't need a hammock too often, so it's going to live in there. That's where it's going to be, at the bottom of my bag. So, and listen, I've decided already, I'm not going to pack the MRE. Screw it. I don't need to eat on my ride home. It's just extra weight. I really don't need it. It's unnecessary. What I do need, though, and I'm going to keep that close handed, which is another favorite piece of equipment, my frog togs. Man, my frog togs, I love these. I've got 2 pair, right? Just because they're good. They were less than 20 bucks, and they come in so handy. This is an entire jacket, right? Yeah. That's it, right? And it's a rain jacket, and it's freaking phenomenal. It's got a hood. It's got, it's got arms. That's everything I need. And then there's a pair of trousers. I'm not going to pull them out, but you get the idea. And it's a stuff sack. I just stuff them inside here. You don't have to be no rhyme or reason. It just all fits. And it doesn't matter if it's wrinkly. It's rain gear. Who cares? You're not in for a fashion show. So, some of my favorite, absolute favorite gear. I love it. And if I don't have room inside here, that's why I got, that's why I put on here, and I lost a grommet, but that's all right. That's why I have it on a carabiner, so I can hang it on the outside. But it's going to live inside here, but I want to get close access to it. But remember, I also don't need fire right away, so I'm going to stuff this down in here. That can sit at the bottom. I don't need this right away, so that can live down at the bottom. And that's, oh, God, I almost got rid of that. I got to show this to you. My favorite gear. This is my very first Baco Laplander. I have two now because the fail point is right here. There's a depression button that comes stock, but it's made of this composite, whatever that is, and it's meant to go down and push down in here. Now I put a little hot glue in there and a couple of nuts, and that's perfect. And I can press down and unlock it, right? Bam. And that's what all it does is it's just there to unlock and open it, right? Because it locks in place until you push it down. And I think that's the function of the button. But since I don't have that button anymore and it broke off, I improvised. I also put a whipping at the end of this, right? Lashing here. So anyways, I love this thing. This is so forgiving. Let me see. I think it's, I don't know if you can see it, but it's bent at the tip, right? But it's all right. I don't mind it. And I got another one, and it's brand new. And the other one came with this Baco, and it's kind of like a Mora companion, right? Not a Garberg or anything. It's just, pretty sure it's stainless steel, but it's a Scandi grind, and it's nice. I love this knife. This is literally like a $10 knife. I got the whole set for $27. The whole set, $27. Holy moly. It's amazing. I love this. This is some of my favorite gear. And that's going to live, right? So again, I can sacrifice this to live in a bag that I'm not using every single day, but it's in there. Oh, and I want to show you my fire kit too. Here, I'm going to put it away. Let me put this stuff down in there. Let me just jam this down in there. I don't need it right now. And I definitely don't need the bank line and the quarters until I need it, right? So that's why it's going to live at the bottom. What's going to live up top is some of the other stuff. I don't need my life straw either. So that can live down at the bottom too, right? And that's perfectly fine. My fire kit will live down there, but I wanted to show that off. So this is a different video. Okay. So I have, by the way, if you're ever going to use Zens as your container, don't take the top sticker off because it never comes off fully. But in here lives my fire starter pucks. I got a couple of cotton rounds that just live in the top, just because. But in here, I make these. I made these fire. They get kind of stuck together, but it's all right. But basically, it's a cotton round soaked in wax, which smells like cinnamon, and also kerosene. So for a lantern. Okay, so I got it soaked in there. And then I keep a couple of cotton rounds on top, right? So that lives in here. Of course, it's going to be a pain in the butt. Try to put it back together again, but anyways, it works. Ferrocerium rod. I put this so I can see it. If I drop it in the grass, I can find it, right? What lives in my fire bag are two lighters. One Bic, right? I might want to replace that. And a refillable cricket or clipper, refillable. Pretty amazing. I like that. Okay. And then I've got, came from an MRE, which is nothing but the toilet paper, but it makes great tinder. And the rest is There's aluminum foil in here. I always have aluminum foil, so I have a base that I can start a fire on, even if the ground is wet. And I use it for a lot of things. So it's great to have a like 3 by 3 foot a piece of aluminum foil, because if you need it when you're trying to make a fire, catch your shavings, whatever the case might be, it's good to have. I also have in here is a magnifying glass. I love that. I love that piece of equipment. And then I already went ahead and did the work. I got some fat wood in here and some fire tinder and some jute twine, and that's what lives inside this little fire bag. And that's pretty much so everything I'm going to need. I'm going to need it. I got to remember, I'm going to change out that lighter because it's on its last leg. It really is, and that would suck. But hey, Bic, what is Dave Canterbury says, Bic lighter, first time every time. That's first choice in what you're going to use every single time. He says because it works every single time, and even when it's wet, you know what I'm saying, you can dry it out real quick. So anyways, that's my fire bag. Now that's going to live. That's going to live down here at the bottom. All right, over here. There we go. That's going to live right inside there. What's going to live in this outside pack? It's another favorite piece of equipment. I love this thing, and it is Princeton Tech. And anyways, it's got this little thing, and it takes a couple of AA batteries. It's magnetic, and the button over here so it lights up. Right. What I like about it though is I can hold it, and the brightness goes down, and then it goes back up again. If you can see that, right? Okay, I like that. So, and then I keep it twisted like this, so that it doesn't accidentally get deployed while it's inside here, and it lives right here. Some of my favorite gear. An extra magazine, just standard gear, but that's got to live inside there. A little bit of sunscreen, just because a viewer said I should. So, and then a couple of Advil 800 milligrams. Those are awesome. And yeah, I just thought ahead of time. And then because I carry a Pew Pew, a little Celox gauze, not one of my favorite pieces of gear, but it is. I'm glad that I have it. I'm thankful that I have it. I just hope I never have to use it. And that's what lives inside there. So then again, let me put this Frog Togs in here, because that is the next in line that goes inside here. What's going to go up top here is going to be, I'm leaving the water out because I've got my Grail, but my nav kit sits up here. I don't need my phone chart. Well, it's just going to live in there. There we go. It'll live right down below the Frog Togs. I don't need it right away, but I do need this. I do need this, man. I'm going to need that hat. Get that sun off my face. And I need access to my gloves. You never know what you're, you know. So some bug spray. That I'm going to leave down in here. And then most definitely my umbrella. Not my favorite gear, but it's part of my gear. So that's what's going in here. So let me close this up. That consists of my Greyman bag. I love that. Now that that video is done, and I could have gone into more detail about, you know, the Greyman thing, and I really didn't talk much about it. Maybe I should just do another video on it, but but I was excited to get one out, and it was on my list, and I wanted to get it out because today was my day to get it done. It was actually yesterday, but whatever. Anyways, let's get on to some more fun gear. Who cares? Who cares? I've done a video on this bag. This is my Maxpedition. I load this out, and this is an ever-living bag. But let's just show you what's inside here right now. Quick deploy ridge line, some bank line. And you'll see a lot of redundancies with my bags because I like certain things. So in here I've got a more companion. It's decked out. Way to sharpen it. I've got a tool, a Scotch eye auger. I love this thing. And then this piece of leather, I've got it with some stropping compound on there to sharpen some things up. And inside here is a Ferrocerium, and that just lives right inside here. Bandana and a Baco. Bandana's got, I put on here some of my favorite gear. Again, oh, that's my favorite gear. And it's repetitive. You'll see it like in my kits. I keep stuff like that all together. But I modified this bandana for a couple of reasons. I put on here these, and I've done a video. I've talked about this in my videos before, but it's worth mentioning, man. It's a waypoint. You know, it's a waypoint flag. I can hang it up. I can tie it up, and I can hang it up in a tree, and then I can travel outside of the trail. So I'm on the trail, and I want to go get some. I see some resources down this way, some of the firewood or some water. I want to put this out. I'm going to put this in a visible spot where wherever I travel, I can still see this. If I'm going outside where I can't see this, then I've gone too far. I either A, need to, you know, stay in the area where I can still see it, or add an additional waypoint. And then I can travel outside of my distance from there. So that way you can find your way back. You don't get lost in the woods. And that's just, you know, less preventative maintenance. So, and plus this thing does a lot. It carries stuff. There's 1,000 uses. I don't want to go into it, but it is my favorite gear. And it lives at the bottom of this bag. And I could have gone with a brighter color, but this is the color that I had. So I went with it. And I took it. And I'm fine with that. That's going to live inside there. And at the bottom of the bag is a, I want to say at least a 45 gallon drum liner, plastic drum liner, just in case I need it to make a mattress or whatever, tick bed. But again, it's personally what I'm loaded out for the time. But this is some of my favorite gear. And all of this just lives inside this bag right over here. And for right now, I mean, I might swap ever living, but I generally keep the contents in here the same unless I'm traveling and I don't need all this stuff. But in here, I've got my Surefire flashlight, right? And I got the batteries where I just got to twist it on, right? And I can turn it on, but I keep it loose. I have I love this thing. It is a paint pen, dude. And if you have to leave a visible mark, this works, right? If you need to leave a message, they're getting a point across. This contrary is white, right? You go against something dark, you'll see it. I have an entire repair kit that lives inside here, from Gorilla Tape to needle and thread to to some medical tape that works great for repairs, some additional batteries, and a sail needle already pre-threaded. In here I have a small mini fire kit with some fire pads, a lighter, some aluminum foil. I have a small little tiny, and I love this little thing. This is another piece of my favorite gear. This little tiny thing came free somewhere, but it works perfect for pulling a pot off the fire. It just does, or whatever you need it for. Very rarely do you need pliers in the woods, but and then this lives in here, another piece of favorite gear. My buddy, that's Donald J. Trump here, but my buddy Jamie Farley gave this to me, and I love this knife. It's got 2 blades on it, and one I use for whittling and fine carving work, but I keep a little magnet on there so it magnetizes the tip on it. But that's what lives inside here. And a little piece of fat wood in there, some cotton rounds, and some more tinder. Again, this is all that lives inside here. Some of my favorite gear, and I love this bag. I can't say enough how much I really love this bag. On this end, because my dog Winston comes with me often, I bring a collapsible dog bowl. I use these, they're called zones, but they're Zens or whatever, the nicotine pouches. I use those, so I have a spare pack in there. I have an emergency Mylar bag, and then I also a Mylar shelter, whatever, blanket, and then I've got a a little grocery bag that's rolled up in here in case my dog drops a boom boom and I got to walk that out and it's not, you know, in a spot where, you know, maybe somebody's watching. They're like, dude, you got to do something with that. I'm like, all right, I'll pick up his poo, you know. But if we're in the woods, I don't care, right? But if we're passing by somebody's house, I do care. I don't want him to, you know, I don't want to be that guy. So on this end, over here, what lives over here? Another favorite tool is this thing, $3.99 at 7-Eleven. I promise you, get yourself one. All it does is it holds a lighter in there, right? You also got a little spot to put a little something, something in there, right? Just saying, whatever, Tylenol. Um, I got an extra blade. It's also on here, and then I've got the screwdriver and Phillips, right? So that just lives on the outside. Convenient as all get out. Just really convenient. It really is. And I got a couple of pens in here to write with. And on the back side of this, there's like a belt that lives inside here. So you can pull the belt out and you can wear this in the front or the back or whatever you want to. But I think I've got a couple of zip ties or something in here that's living in here. Oh, I put this in here because I use this on the outside to carry other things with. So that's why that's in here. That lives in here. And then I made this myself that holds my shemagh, right? So I just roll my shemagh up in there and I cinch it down. Boom. And that lives on the outside of my bag. So favorite gear. I've already probably talked about this 100 times, but this is my all-time favorite gear. I almost died from drinking bad water. So this is it. Most definitely. The Grail. Lifesaver. 100%. All right, let's get into some lighting. I know, Tom, you like lights, dude. So I'm going to show you my Wagners. These are my go-to. They have a charging cable already built in, right? It's got a couple of settings, right? There's a high, there's a low, there's a flashing, right? There's off. But what's cool is it's a lantern too, right? And what's cool is it's also a charging, you know, right here. It's got a USB. So if I want to use the battery bank, it's like a battery bank, and it's magnetized. It's not gonna. Well, that's stainless steel. But anyways, yeah. So this it comes in handy. I love this. I've got 4 of these, right? I love these. They're phenomenal. And then these I got off of like some sort of Japanese site, whatever. I love these. These are phenomenal. Another part of my favorite gear. I don't like all the head strappy things, but they do take some pretty heavy duty batteries, and this will shoot down the road. This is no joke. I have the batteries in there backwards so that they don't discharge. But this will light up the woods. I love this, right? And this here is a glow stick, right? Buddy of mine gave this to me. It's a nice gift. He also the one who gave me the bag. So I love that. Thank you. And then this isn't technically, it is a light, like a little disco light, but it's a speaker, portable speaker. And then one of my favorite pieces of gear to take with me in the woods if I'm spending a night, even an inconvenient night, is a set of Christmas lights on a battery pack. Why? Because it keeps the boogeyman away, of course. That's why. The boogeyman can't be around Christmas lights, dude. It's just too much fun, and they don't like it, and it's awesome to have it. So, this is just happened to be, I'm just using the bowl, but I bring 2 of these bowls with me, right? One is a fire pot, and the other one is a water pot. So, I use one as a water basin for everything, for washing dishes, washing myself, to you know, whatever I need it for, you know, cleaning up things or whatever the case may be, just having stainless steel. And then the other one I can put onto the fire, right? So So that's two of my things. I love that. So that's some of my favorite gear. All right, let's move on. So this now I'll unroll it just because it's worth mentioning because it is some of my favorite gear and it's worth talking about. But this is my boy. Let me find it here. It's a picture. One of my neighbors gave to me when my dog Nugget died. And I don't know if you can see that there, but Nugget was a Great Dane. I hope that came out pretty well. But and he's a Great Dane, and he was one of three that we had, and I loved him very, very much. Anyways, one of my neighbors, and he passed. Um, anyways, man, you get to love critters like you do your own children. You know, I don't know. People feel different about it, but man, those dogs were family. And I'll tell you, when I go home to see Jesus, I'm hoping I'm gonna see them too. So, anyways, that's that. But this is a favorite piece of gear for me because not only just a memory. I'm not too much of a sentimental guy. I can be. I guess I guess everybody can be at some points. There's some things that I do. I don't keep a lot of things to remember something by, but at least one. And like my dad's dog tags. That's what I kept. Didn't need to keep anything more else, dude. That was perfectly fine. My dad doesn't live in them, but you know, my dad's gone. But I have his dog tags now. I had another member tell me that he didn't like my told me to get rid of my cheap pliers. Like he said, go get a Leatherman, right? Leatherman is much better. I agree, dude. Well, I would agree that it can be a much better item, but the one I have is my brother's, and I bought it for him. Actually, I bought it at Home Depot. It was $5, and I'll tell you, it does everything I needed to do that a Leatherman should that I needed to do. So, and it works perfectly fine. So I'm keeping it, and that's my memory of my brother. And then for my memory of my mom, because she passed as well, I took my mom's leather purse, her Italian leather purse, and I didn't have the heart to throw it away because it smelled like her. So I cut the leather out and I made an axe sheath out of it, and I named it Yoli because that was my mom's name, Yolanda. Yolanda, but people called her Yolanda. She's Italian. So, anyways, I take Yoli with me as my sheath. Now, does it look pretty? No, it does not look pretty because it was my first time messing around with it, but it's functional and it works, and I'm cool with it. And that's the deal. So, more gear that I love is this. This is my Pathfinder, stainless steel 32 ounce with a nesting cup. I love that. Inside here lives apparently some fucking water. Ah, okay. I'm gonna have to clean that out. So, and here also lives a way to make some coffee, right? Oh, by the way, I didn't tell you. This is my camp kitchen. This is it. All right. So, camp coffee, 32 ounce stainless steel, right? Then here I've got my my pot, my cook set, right? And I got it in an old Coleman bag. None of these bags match up. Maybe this one actually, maybe it is Coleman. Who knows? Who knows? I do not know, but I love this piece of equipment. And it is Coleman. You know what? First time, the bag actually corresponds with what I'm using it for. So let me move this out of the way. What I like about this set is that it's got these little things, this little handles, and there's a handle that goes in and just grabs a hold of it. And that handle would work for other things besides this. But I've got the skillet portion of here, and then I've got the pot portion in here. And what's in here is the entire contents of an MRE. So I don't want to take it out just to show you. You're just going to have to trust me that there's this grippy handle thing that goes and attaches to this, and it doubles also for this right over here, and then that lives inside its corresponding, holy crap, a corresponding bag. It's not harvested from something else. Very rare for me. Very, very rare. I usually, for whatever reason. Oh, yeah. You hear that, man? We're going through a storm. We had a tornado warning. I think I made the Greyman video during the tornado thing that was going on. Anyways, what also lives inside here? I've got this and bought it off of Amazon. But it's a pretty cool piece of equipment. And basically, it's my camp stove. Let me open this up. Bam. And got the different attachments for the different types of fuel. And I'm in business. I'm cooking. And that's my cook set, right? As far as that's concerned. So, and then let me see what I have inside here. Is there anything that lives in here? A couple pieces of fat wood to get some fire started. Some bank lines, some coffee, some stevia, and some electrolytes and some water purification tablets. I think that's about it. On this side, apparently I've got, salt and pepper and some sterno. But because the bag zipper broke, I got this on there, and I think that's going to be fine. You don't have to be perfect. So let's put this back, just because I don't want to have to do it later. And I got to put this back in the right way, too, because there's a couple of... Let me see how this goes. I can drop this in here, and then this, I think, goes... There we go. That's close enough. Okay, so let's put this all back, because that's all got to go back in here. It's got to live happy inside here. Just like this. All right. Let's get on to some other favorite equipment. I'm not going to unravel it, but in here is my tree by tree DD hammock, 3 meter by 3 meter. And I love this thing, dude. I absolutely adore it. I'm so glad I got it. It's my favorite tarp in the whole wide world. All right. Let's get on to, I do have a first aid kit. So, in case I need it. In here, I've got some iodine wipes, right? Some Benadryl cream for some bug bites, some stuff to stop some bleeding, and that's pretty much so it on that side. What's missing is a tourniquet. Yep. So, anyways, I don't really preach having a first aid kit because it's not necessary all the time. Anyways, another favorite piece of equipment. I got this back in 2012 when I went through my real deep prepping stage, and I love this. This Voyager, I paid like $60 for this radio, but it has got solar, it's got batteries, it's got crank, it's got a USB so I can charge my stuff. If I have to sit there and crank it up, it can. I bring this camping with me. I love it. It gives me some tunes. It get me little weather stations. I've got 4 different bands. I got weather bands. And there's a flashlight on here. There's like so much. I even decked it out. I modified it and put some 3M reflective tape on there so I could see it from a distance. I love this thing. Well, that's cool, man. Definitely cool. All right, let's move on. Now, I know I can recreate it and make it out in the woods again, but I love it. I made this, and sometimes I bring it with me. Sometimes if I got conveyance, I do. I bring it with. If I don't, I make one out there. But if I have conveyance, I'm bringing it with. Conveyance means, I mean, like I got a vehicle, I got a way to tote some stuff. If not, I'm bushcrafting it out there. But this was one of my first, this was my very first hammer that I made. I did a great video on it. I think it was the first one, and it's made out of oak, so it's going to be there for a while. I loved that. I made a couple of videos on it, and then I did with some Tarred Mariner's bank line, the cheaper version of it, I believe, maybe. Yeah, cheap version of it. But I did a reverse wrap cord on here, and then a whipping at the end, melted the end, so it's in there. Like, that's forever. This has been sitting out in the weather for a couple of years, and it's still holding up strong. Several years, like at least 3 or 4, maybe 3. Yeah, I have to go back and watch the videos, but I love this thing. So I named it Pound. You can't see it anymore, but I wrote Pound Town. So I think I started off the video, I'm Tony Too Tough, and I'm going to take you to Pound Town. And man, that video was one of the first ones that actually took off. So I love this. It's special to me. I need this in my life. I made another one with a, and I used a Scotch eye auger to drill through it and then put in a handle. That eventually broke, but this one, it's not going to break. That'll last for a long time. And then here's Yoli. Okay, so Yoli's a tomahawk, but I told you I had my mom's leather. I didn't have the heart to. Still smells like my mom. Anyways, I made another axe sheath as well, but this is my boy. My boy made this tomahawk for me. I'm not going to take the sheath off because it's, well, you know what? Why not? It's worth it. Some of my favorite gear, so I might as well just go ahead and take it off. Now, let's get this off. Here it is. Some of my favorite gear. My boy, my buddy, he hammered this out and beat this out. And this is a big old tough piece of steel. And it's a great tomahawk. And I love this thing. It's one of my favorite pieces of equipment. And he put on some. Now, interestingly enough about this handle, I want to share this with you. You see this? There's lightning bolts in there because he had this machine that he harvested from a microwave oven. And he 6 electrodes in there, and one on either end, soaks it up with some salt water and turns it on. It shoots electricity through here, and it makes this pattern. And he does it all over. And that's all electricity. That's all fired electricity stuff in there. Anyways, so this thing's been charged, baby. It's been charged. Look at that. So I love this. And I use this primarily for delimbing and for light work. Like today, for example, I needed to put, I actually used it today to chop a toothbrush in half because it was too long to fit in my bag. So I just chopped it in half and it came in handy. And it's just sharp, dude. I love this. And I love these marks that he left intentionally on there. I love that look because it's so unique. I can see a hammer striking. It's just, there's just, and then I use this for pounding in steaks, right? This is, and it's got real natural sinew on here. That's in here. I might have to, no, it's still holding. Still good. Thank you, Jamie. I love it, and it's part of my favorite part of my gear. Absolutely. Here we go. All right. All right, so let's see. What do I got in here? Got a cordage bag bank line. Some of my favorite gear. Tard Mariner's Bank Line. I love this stuff. It's stiff. Do you see how it's just holding itself? See how it just holds up like that, right? Look at that, dude. Look at how it just holds up, right? Because it's tarred and it stays where I put it, right? So when I tie a knot, it stays in place. And that's what's on here. And that's lived out here for 3 years in the rain and not snow, but like rain, heat, sun. It's obviously faded in color, right? But still holds, right? And then that lives inside this bag of other cordage that I have in here. Here's just another small bag of cordage that I keep. But this is my in and out box. So I have an in and out box that I keep stuff in. It's just in and out box, and you know, things that I'm keeping in here at the time. And so my thermocell, right? And I've got some thermocell stuff right here, and I'm going to take this off, but I haven't fired it up. But this is going to be some char material, and so in here is some punk wood I harvested. So, and then this is some cabbage palm burlap, and I want to see how that chars. I don't know if it will char or not, but I'm going to try it out. Let's see. But I know the other stuff, the punk wood, will char up real good, take a spark like nothing, and that's what I have that for. And because I don't always want to, even though I got cotton and I got this, I don't want to char that up. I got natural material. I know what to look for, and if I'm making char material for fire starting, then so be it. I got a piece of cotton in here because this comes in handy. But oh, let me show you this. This is my little Kelty box, right? This holds my power supplies, power cables, power banks. I love this, and it's a hard shell on the outside, you know, and it's perfect, and it goes in my in and out box because it's in and out of my stuff depending on what I need it for. My favorite pair of gloves, and they're called Bare Bones. I got them from the Marlboro catalog, and I love Marlboro for it. But I have several pairs of these, and I use them often. Just some more cordage. Another one of those Wagner lights, right? I just have it wrapped up inside a couple of cozies, and then I've got a roll of my other favorite Gorilla Tape right here, man. I love this stuff, dude. It's perfect. This goes inside my in and out box. Favorite mosquito repellent besides DEET is going to have to be a Thermacell. I love this. Absolutely phenomenal. I have another wood processing. This is a SOG. This is pretty cool, man. I definitely dig this. This is a pretty cool item to take along with. And it's another tomahawk, but it's definitely got its place in my box, in my bag, and at camp. I do appreciate this thing. It's a cool tool. And it's got a little fire starter here at the bottom. Right down here at the bottom. I'm a sucker every single time. If you add a ferrocerium rod to something, I'm sold. I don't know why, just how I am. And now, on to my favorite knife. One of my favorite knives. But this was a knife that was made for me before I did my my challenge over at Dave Canterbury's class in Ohio. And I needed a high carbon steel knife. And I had a buddy of mine beat this out onto an anvil, and it's 1095 steel. I want to say, I don't know what the thickness is, but dude, it's full tang, and it's a chomper. It really is, and it's sharp as a whip, as all get out. I would love to have had a different grind on here, but I asked him to make a Scandi grind. He didn't know what that was. So anyways, but the leather work is exceptional. I love it. And originally it came with a bearing inside here so that I could use it as a bow drill. But I never wind up I did once. I did use it once, and it kind of freaked me out because I had a blade, an open blade, you know, very, very sharp blade too. As I'm sitting there, didn't like that. So more of a novelty than anything else. But the sheath, I love this. It's got a, I've got a another I got another lighter, and yes, I got some bank line wrapped up inside there so it does not discharge. I've got a canvas needle threaded with some line, and I keep a bit of stainless steel on there because a steel wool, so that I can take care of this when it needs to, because it is, keep it oiled, but listen, it is it's susceptible to rust. So, anyways, that's that. And then this is Les Stroud, the original Survivor man. This is his blade. My son gave this to me. I like this blade. It's a lot of fun. It's, even though it's covered, but it is full tang, right? He's got a little spot in the back for like a little hammer option. But the functionality of the knife is great. I'll tell you, some people complain about the serration, having serrations here. But I will say, because as bushcrafters, we use this part of the knife for doing a lot of fine carving and whittling. Um, I It doesn't make for that because it leaves marks on the wood if you're trying to be clean about it. But it's sharp as all get out. It's no joke. I love it. It'll rip right through a bunch of stuff, dude. So to me, it's a win. It's a victory. I like having a serration on this particular knife, especially in a spot that gets the dullest the quickest. I got about 32 foot of, or 22 foot of some bank line wrapped up inside there. I've got some fire starter, and I've got, yeah, just some fire starter stuff. Anyways, I love this knife too. So, did you ever see a pair of fuzzy rabbit balls? Oh, there you go. Now you've seen them. So, this is just my, oh, by the way, here's that, here is that Leatherman, fake Leatherman that I was telling you about. Came from Home Depot. Bought it for $5, dude. It's got a goofy little peace sign on there. Yeah, it's just some generic one, but I'll tell you what, it's got a saw that works phenomenal. It's got another blade that's sharp as all get out because I sharpened it. And then I've got a pair of pliers on here. Got some other tools and all. It gets the job, more than gets the job done. This is just a personal bag that I need to swap out when I made my Greyman bag. My Greyman bag is actually my bag for work. So because I'm not Greymaning it out, I'm going to swap the other stuff out, but some stuff out. But anyways, that lives in there. My personal care item. And then when I go camping, or I'm out in the bush or whatever, I literally bring this. This is like a toiletry bag that I keep all my personal stuff in, right? So that's about it, and that's in my in and out box. I've got a small fishing kit that I kept inside here. It's got lead weights, hooks, leaders, bobbers, fishing line, 20-pound, 15-pound. Got everything I need to go fishing with. And then, of course, a spare microphone in case I need it if I'm filming. So that's pretty much so the stuff that lives inside this bag, inside this box. And that's pretty much so the end of this video, because that's about all the gear that I've got that I want to show you. What I don't want to pull out from the garage, but that's pretty much so it. And my Shimag, the other thing. I love this thing. One of my most used pieces of equipment. I enjoy it thoroughly. It's a win-win for me all the way around. I love that thing. And all the gear I showed you today, it's got a special spot. It's my gear. That's the thing. It's my gear. It's like I put it together. Every little kit, I put them all together myself like nobody else. I didn't go on Amazon and buy the, I mean, I bought some of this stuff off of Amazon, but for the most part, like everything is like either I handmade it or I put the kit together myself, you know? So that's the dealio. And I appreciate you guys watching. This really one was just made for Tom, and I appreciate anybody else who came by and wants to watch it. It's just a long-winded video, me just doing a bag gear dump. But you know, hey, sometimes I'll tell you what, I love gear dumps. That's one of my favorite videos. Just seeing what another dude has put together, just seeing what another guy has put together, you know, his own gear dump. Like, what is his stuff, right? What has he got in his box? And that's pretty much so it. You know, you get to see what other ideas, and then you get to gauge where they're at in their either prepping or their bug out bag or whatever bags. you get to see it, the progression, because at first it's a mess, chaotic mess. Um, as you progress through this, you get to understand the benefits of dedicated things. Like yeah, you can have some redundancy. Like it's okay to have some, like a lighter inside your mess kit, because it kind of corresponds with it, right? You need to make a fire sometimes. So yeah, you can have some overlapping boundaries, but when you start adding things in there, in kits that just don't belong, yeah, it's part of of your survival gear or whatever, but it's just kind of out of place. You get to see that, and then um, when I see a well put together kit, I know that that person has put some time into it, and I know they've been in the game for a minute, and they've tested their gear out, and every kit is ever evolving and always changing and becoming something else, or whatever it might be. It goes into different, and every kid is living, like they always change. This bag has changed 100 times. I could go to the beach and this could be a completely different. It's a beach bag, right? I'm going to go to the office and it could be my office bag. I could go to the airport. You know what I'm saying? Taking all the other pokey stuff out of there and fire stuff, and I'm gonna get through TSA with it. So anyways, that's it, man. And I appreciate y'all watching. And this time we didn't get out in the woods because it's raining. I don't know if you can hear that, but it was raining, and so all these videos are being done indoors today. So I appreciate you sticking around to the end. But go out in the woods, get your dirt on. Go on now. I get.